Well, it. I guess I'm gonna start off following up on the last video with the sale. Prices were horrendous. Uh, Knew they would be down, but did not expect that. Uh, so basically, we paid somebody to take them off our hands because that prices were that bad. Paid them a lot to take them off our hands. Have had a forecast of some rain, another kind of rainy week this next week, which is wonderful. Glad to be getting some rain in June. Uh, but man, we had a storm, just flat windstorm that came through, and the garden is going to need some. Garden's going to need some TLC to get it even halfway back to where it was. And it wasn't just a horrible; it was hard rain, and the wind started getting a little crazy. Enough that yeah, we did have a little damage. So I was waiting for the rain to let up to bring the camera out to take a first-hand view of some of the damage. We were lucky in some ways, not so much in others, but let's go take a look at it. Well, at first glance, it looks bad enough. No telling how many years that tree has been there. Lost one of the limbs, this one on the front, that one right there, a little while ago. But there's a large limb, as you can see, or trunk right there. That's the butt end of it. You can see how close it was to the barn. So we're going to go see how close it was to the barn. Well, there it is. A little bit more up close. There's the side of the barn. Trying to see. She's liking that. And there's the fence that we had just kind of gotten fixed to keep the goats where they belong. Looks like it bent the tin on the barn. There's a hole there. You can see where the limbs swiped across. I'm assuming it either came down on the barn and then rolled off, or it rolled as it came down. I'm not sure. Looks like it's going to be a day tomorrow. Honestly, I haven't used this chainsaw much since I joke, it's not funny, but since I pretty much tried to cut my leg off with it a couple of years ago. I know in the videos you've seen those ugly dark brown pants that I wear that has about half the bottom leg on the left side missing. That's from the chainsaw. We were clearing up some stuff around the house, and needless to say, I had a little kickback accident, and it was ugly. It really was. Fortunately, did not get into the bone. Could have been a whole lot worse. Several stitches and several weeks recovery. But I still wear those pants. Well, not only because after that, that's all they were good for, was farm work. That's why you've seen them a lot on the videos. But honestly, I still wear those pants just as a reminder of how fast things can go wrong. The only thing I hate about it is when it was pretty there with the barn and everything else, but that tree has been there for God knows how long. But it was also about the only shade that barn has. So you know, barns in the summertime, they get hot, and without that shade, uh, but I'm not complaining, because we had 60 something head of goats, of sheep over there, and then the goats. It could have been a lot worse. I'm trying not to talk too much. I don't want to bore you, but apparently when that big limb, it's about that big around, snapped off, the way the wind was blowing and the weight of the upper limbs already had it kind of rolling. So when it hit the barn, it didn't hit with full weight because it was already kind of rolling. It was just a glancing blow. Because if it hadn't been a glancing blow, I promise you the damage would have been a whole lot worse. Probably would have taken down pretty much that whole side of the barn. So it had to have already been kind of shifting. When that butt end broke loose, it just kind of rolled it and just kind of had a glancing blow on the barn. And I want to talk to you for just a second. You know, Lord knows I am not the master guru of chainsaw safety. You heard the story. Anyway, I am slow and I am methodical when it comes to stuff like this. And here's the reason why. Most people that have limited time to get things done like we do would jump up in the middle of this and start cutting and just drag the whole thing out. That's fine and dandy if that's what you want to do. But I have been present too many times when near bad things happened because a log shifted, log rolled some way that was unanticipated and caused some issues. So the reason I'm cutting all this outside junk back is called a line of escape. So when I get up in here cutting these larger pieces, I have open paths that I know that if something starts to shake or move in some way I'm not anticipating or not wanting, I can drop the chainsaw where it's at and I can escape on that path without having to worry about getting tangled up in limbs or briars or anything like that. So I am a big believer in having your lines of escape clean and cleared so that you can get into those harder pieces. Yes, it does take a lot more time, but a lot more time, you know, what's the cost of being uninjured and alive? So I kind of figure it that way. It's not perfect, but this side in particular, I've got a whole lot more work to do on this. I'm just slowly working my way through. This one over here is getting very close to being there. You see, I have a path. I have a path right through here. Just got to cut a couple of pieces there, a couple of pieces here, and pull those out so that I have a very, very distinct and easy to hit escape path in case when I'm cutting some of these larger pieces up here, something starts to roll or shift, then I have a way out without having to worry about tripping over, because Lord knows I'm clumsy. Been there, done that, and years ago, and I thought that was going to be the end of it, because I was cutting a good sized tree, and when it started to fail, it rolled on its base, and I thought I was going to be part of it. So I dropped the chainsaw where I was at and made a couple steps, but then I got tangled up in the junk that I didn't clean out of the way, and it was a scary moment, that's for sure. You want to talk about shaking? I was shaking when that one was over. Well, much better than it was. Got a lot of this stuff here cleaned out so that we can get into the two bigger pieces up there and get them done at a later time. Won't be much later because we need to get it down. Anyway, coming in spring, summertime, windstorms, stuff like that can blow up pretty quick, so we need to get those down. And then we need to finish getting those cut. Those and this one. Waiting, I'm going to get diesel for the tractor and kind of start fresh with them. That way I can get the tractor under the heavy end up there to just kind of support, so that if anything rolls or falls or anything, then it's got something to kind of slow it down, which will give us more time to kind of figure out which way it's going and get out of the way. So, not bad. I'll do a before and after here real quick. Most of it's over there. Decided to pull that out and let them go ahead and finish eating off that green stuff, and then I'll bring the forks on the tractor next day or two, scoop a lot of it up and dispose of it,